How's it going? My name is Brandon Stiles, and today I wanted to do a little something different. We're going to be going over the top 10 web design trends right now in 2020. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Always be on the cutting edge of technology. Now, though I do fall short of this myself, I do like to keep up with what's going on in web development and front-end development, right? Because if you can stay on the forefront, you can continue to evolve, you can continue to push your business practices further, you can continue to push your marketing, your software, your SaaS, whatever you want to do further just by using quicker, faster, better tools. So today we're going to jump into the top 10 trends that I'm seeing right now, and we're going to talk about how you can implement them on your website. Let's go. Trend number 1, and I don't think this is a trend just so much as what's going to be happening from now on. Websites are going to keep getting faster and faster and faster. And newsflash, if your site's not loading fast, like if it's loading slower than 2 seconds, maybe even 1 second by the end of the year, you're going to be behind. That's going to cost you conversions, it's going to cost you customers, it's just not going to be a good look for you or your product. So continue to look into ways to speed up your website, whether it's image optimization, whether it is using HTTP2, HTTP3. If you're using WordPress, you can update to PHP 7. Sites are going to keep getting faster, 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 faster. Trend number 2 in web designs, more microservices. Microservices essentially let you have a serverless platform, right? You can code a website and it's just a static website that stays the same like an image. It doesn't change. It's not like a movie, it's an image. But if you wanted to run some sort of functionality, you could actually call the server one time to run just one little function. That way you're keeping a lot of the load off of your server, and you're also paying less because you're not having to pay to keep a server up the whole time. So if you're looking at revamping your website or maybe adding some of the newest functionality, look into microservices. They're cost efficient, they're modern, they're fast, and according to number 1, it's gonna also make your website load a little bit faster. You've got less code to deal with. Trend number 3 for web design in 2020, storyselling. Storyselling, what is that? Essentially, websites are going away from the brochure days, right? Modern websites are telling a story. They're using 3D animations to do it. They're using cutting edge, new VR, AR stuff to get visitors more engaged. If your user goes to your website and it's boring and it looks just like every other website out there, their engagement and their attention level is going to be a lot shorter. So when you're building your site or you're building your next sales page, think about the story that's involved in selling that product or pushing that cause. All right, what questions need to be answered to get people to take an action if it fits them? And then what kind of story needs to be told to create sympathy or to create empathy in your readers so that they can take the action that you would like them to take on your site. Trend number 4 in web design for 2020, more AI-based testing. This is actually one of my favorite ones and ones that I'm reading papers on and trying to figure out how to make better. Is how can you use machine learning and how can you use artificial intelligence coupled with the traffic that's already coming into your website to make better design choices. Real simple example, take a button. And AI can change it from red to blue to a brand color to green to purple to whatever. You get 1,000 people to your site, 10,000 people, 500,000 people, and maybe the blue one is getting the best click-through rate. AI would be able to change that on your website. It's making these little nitty-gritty design decisions that you don't have to do yourself, you don't have to pay a dev to do, and it's continuing to increase the conversion rate on your site, on your sales page, your landing page, etc. Apple does a really good job of this. We'll mention them a few times in this video. Apple actually changes the sales pages of some of their products based on how fast you scroll. I saw one on one of the recent iPhone releases where if you scroll a little bit faster down the page, right, that probably means you're in a hurry or something. It will show you only half of an image, whereas if you're scrolling slowly, right, that means you're taking your time, you're investigating. It'll show you the whole picture, the 3D model of an iPhone. Letting AI make those decisions can really increase your conversion rates on your pages. Web trend number 5 for 2020, broken grid. This came out a little while ago, but you're continuing to see this. Not everything's lining up in little columns of 3, and not everything's perfectly placed right on top of each other. You're seeing a lot of overlap in imagery, a lot of overlap in shapes. It's become more of almost like a physical tangential presentation versus just, a stat column grid of information. Lots of broken grid, overlapping, using drop shadows to create a 3D effect. That's a huge trend that's going on right now. Web design trend number 6, amazing animations. With the new accessibility of stuff like WebGL and 3JS and all kinds of other 3D rendering platforms, not to mention just more powerful devices and computers, you're able to do a lot more cool animations. And animations equals engagement. Now, don't overdo this, but little subtle animations, like even if it's just a picture fading in or icons rising up, or it could be something as complicated as like a rotating 3D model. Any sort of animation is going to lend to your page being more engaging and your site being more engaging. So incorporate some of those animations into your website. It just increases the engagement by adding a little bit of, oh, that's pretty cool, to your site. Web trend number 8 is voice interaction. All right, in our house, we're full of Alexas and Google Homes, and we're constantly asking Google questions. How do you get featured in those search results? Well, that is where voice interaction in a website comes in. That's going to be growing more and more important as people and customers and consumers start searching sites either vocally or asking Google a question, any onslaught of possibilities. 2020, I think, is going to be huge for voice interaction. So start reading up on how you can add voice interaction, voice queries, voice searches, whatever you want to call it, to your website to get a little bit more accessibility and to get a little bit higher in the search results. Tip number 9, right? I always get confused with these. Did I lose count? 9, right? Tip number 9, interactive design. Kind of going back into what I was saying with WebGL and the ability for lots of devices, laptops, tablets to actually process this huge amount of animation data and stuff coming in, websites are getting more and more interactive. You can run AI-based neural network tests on a website. You can bring up an AR model in space. I know Tesla does this as one of their business cards. They have a business card and you can hold your phone up to it and it will actually show you the full Model S, Model X, whatever they're talking about, on your phone screen. So it looks like it's right in front of you. It's really cool, and that is just going to continue to not only allow more sales because people can almost get a hand on your product or your software, but it's also going to increase the engagement and it's going to help with word of mouth marketing, right? If I had a business card that would show an AR car on it, I'd be like, that's badass, and I would show it to people. Build in little interactive designs into your website. The final web design trend that I'm seeing for 2020 is energetic design. So when you're thinking energetic design, think bright, vibrant colors, all right? Think gradients. Like I thought gradients would be kind of going out. Gradients are still there, especially when you're talking about that like energetic, bright, orange, purple, soft red gradient. It makes things look younger. It makes things look reinvigorated. When you're thinking about energetic design, think of what like Nike does, right? Nike uses some of those big like constructionism, brutalism type letters. Apple also does this. Look on any Apple sales page right now and the trend is these big, thicker letters, this big font size that takes up a lot of the screen. So maybe if you're building a new landing page, take the font size that you normally use for a headline and bump it up 25 pixels. Hell, bump it up 30, I don't care, you do what you wanna do. Another thing that's gonna come up with that energetic feel for websites is up close and personal imagery, up close and personal videos. Again, go to an Apple sales page. You're going to see these devices close up. These 3D models are getting like photo realistic renderings done, all right? So no more are you kind of taking a back seat and being like, oh, there's the object at a distance. That looks great. These models are very close up and creating a lot of energy because they're just right in your face. You almost feel like you can reach out and touch them. You're also seeing that energetic design in a lot of drop shadows nowadays. Used to be drop shadows were all the same. They were all gray, dark blue, whatever. You're not seeing that as much anymore. Now you're starting to see soft, pretty spread out drop shadows that usually reflect the color of a button. So maybe you've got a red button, you're gonna be seeing a soft, glowy red drop shadow that almost makes it look like the button's sticking out even more, right? Just continuing to contribute to the energy of a site. So there you go. Those are my personal top 10 design trends in web design right now. I would love to know some of yours. Did I get anything wrong? Of course, this is just an opinion, so technically what I said couldn't be wrong, it's just a subjective opinion. But if you saw something that you also seem to think is a trend, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to check them out. I'd love to even do a video on it. I'll drop your name as a credit if I do it. If this video was helpful to you, please subscribe. I would love you to become a new subscriber so I can continue to make these videos for you. Again, leave a comment for any web design trends that you're seeing right now, and I'll see you next time.